G'day guys and welcome to another episode of the Fully Equipped Podcast. Wadeh Maroun, Kris McCormack, how art thou?
That was good.
Good.
That was good. We are back in Scottsdale after a cold, wet, miserable weather-wise week in sunny Orlando, Florida.
And now it's cold, wet and miserable here right now over the last 2 or 3 days. So hopefully it gets better.
I don't know if it's following you, if it's following me.
I mean,
it's either way it sucks.
It's following someone and it needs to bugger off because this is stupid. We live in Arizona for a reason.
Exactly. But good news, next week, Waste Management Phoenix Open. The forecast looks perfect.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what Marky Mark was just telling us.
Yeah, it looks phenomenal. So I'm glad that the crap weather is getting its run this week.
Yep.
And right about the time everybody comes in town for the absolute just mayhem that is the Phoenix Open, the weather's going to be perfect.
The Wasted Management Phoenix Open.
Do you early predictions? Do you think they're going to have any issues like they had last year? Have to cut off entry, cut off alcohol sales, and keep it under wraps?
I'm sure there will be issues, but I guarantee this is under a magnifying glass.
It has to be, right?
Yeah.
It has to be.
But PGA Tour needs some entertainment, so maybe they'll do a bit of Arizonians gone wild and let them do their thing for a couple of days so that they get some kind of
just to get some eyes.
Yeah, some kind of attention and awareness through the media.
Is there, per tradition, is there going to be a streaker or two this year?
There has to be.
You kind of expect it anymore, right?
Did the guy that jumped in the pond last year? Didn't he get like super sick or something afterwards as well?
I was going to say he has to have some type of flesh-eating bacteria.
Yeah. So there was a tournament I played in there twice. I've played in it twice, and it's the Tuesday after the Waste Management Open. And the last time I played, which was like, I think it was 2 years ago, the ponds, it was just dead fish at the top.
Yeah.
Like it was disgusting.
Yeah, it didn't,
doesn't
look like an inviting watering hole to swim in by any means.
No.
But Waste Management.
There'll be a streaker. Sorry, I just interrupted you. I don't care. Bugger you. But I think there's going to be some weird shit that happens no matter what.
Every year.
It's the Waste Management. This is what happens. This is the entertainment tournament. This is the girls gone wild, guys gone wild tournament. This is what everyone comes here for. And even the players, like they love it on 16 and all of that kind of stuff as well. They have a great time with it.
Yeah, it's interesting talking to some of the players over the years and even going out and playing some of the practice rounds and doing some of the pro-ams over the years. Like there's guys that rise to the occasion and they pump up the crowd. They look forward to 16 their whole round. And then there's other guys that just dread it. Mm-hmm. And you really tell when they walk through that archway and into the stadium, the Coliseum of golf. It's the guys that embrace it and love it and pump up the crowd and really like feed on it. And then the guys that are just like, oh God, I just want to hit the green so I can get out of here.
And it's not a hard shot. It's like 132, 135 yard par 3.
Yeah.
It's a simple, for them, probably a gap wedge.
Hey, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that come through and just crumble never ceases to amaze me. And the guys that come through and embrace the crowd, embrace the chaos, those are fan favorites.
Yep.
I love seeing that.
Me too.
It's just crazy.
It's just fun. It's just fun to see something a little bit different in golf. Kind of similar with the TGL, right? Like I know the TGL was on Tuesday, and that's something that we want to talk about a little bit for 5 seconds. But it's entertaining.
It is.
It's entertaining as much as people like. Even here's a great example. I was sitting there. I got home. My youngest went to karate. Sonny went to karate, and Enzo and I were there, and the TGL was on. And even Enzo started to get into it. He's like, what's that?
That's cool.
What are they hitting into? He's like, the green moves? Like he's a 9-year-old kid. Like that shit fascinates him. And then he started watching it and really understanding what the players were doing. And he's like, why are they doing that? Why are they not playing together? Like kind of like, what are the rules? You know, like and trying to get into it and all of that kind of stuff. And it's entertaining. And if it got a 9-year-old's attention, then, and I'm watching the tour on the weekend, and I'm like, hey, you want to come watch the golf? He's like, no, I'm good.
No, has no interest.
Right.
But flashy lights, things that move, music.
Yep.
And a little bit more
Screens,
engagement.
technology.
Right. And it's faster paced. And this week, the match was was good. It
close,
wasn't a total blowout.
Yep.
You had Tiger, you had Rory. You see a couple of interesting gear stories in there with, you know, Tiger putting in
The QI.
QI35 LS, Rory QI10.
Still.
Yeah, that was
The core, right? Is he playing LS or core?
Core head.
Yeah.
And that's kind of interesting to see. And especially like the TGL environment, you would think that if you are going to
Test.
do
There's
some
there's the spot.
testing, like that's potentially the spot to do it. But I
Well,
don't
the
know.
odd thing is he's always been, especially for TaylorMade, I feel like he's always been the early adopter. He's always been the early adopter to turn around and go, yeah, just give me the new shit. It doesn't matter. So for him not to be in it yet. And then there was that photo of him with the Ventus red in it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Now, whether that was a marketing shot or whether that was him actually testing, and maybe that's why he hasn't put in the bag yet, because he's still testing the right pairings or what have you.
Sure. That's interesting. You talk about the red profile, and I'm seeing a lot of QI35 heads, the core and the LS, even some of the Max, come out of TaylorMade fitting experiences with red profile. So it's kind of cool that the Ventus red. Now we see new RB from Mitsubishi, the red board coming back. You've got Tensei red. There's a couple of other profiles out there that, for whatever reason, they match up really well for big chunk of players with QI35 heads.
Yeah, another one that's really good is the UST Link red.
UST Link red, yeah, I forgot about that one.
So that's what's in my mini driver at the moment. That's a great shaft.
That whole Link family is kind of sleepers.
Yeah, UST is a sleeper shaft company in totality. I don't
Agreed.
think they get it. Like they're very OEM driven right now. Where like if you go into a PGA Superstore, you'll see a lot of them on the racks because that's where they do most of their business. But
The helium specifically.
yeah,
a lot
but
of
their
heliums.
aftermarket is incredible.
I know when we, at True Spec, when we added the Link shafts into the hybrid matrix and then also started to incorporate them into some of the fairway woods and drivers for testing and things like that, like I was really surprised how good that Link family was.
Yeah, really stable, really fast. I like it. I mean, look, and once again, I'm playing it, so I like it. I've got a 6X in the Link red coming as well, for when we do our video on what driver, what shaft should be in my bag. We've worked out I'm a red guy, so I'm gonna go through the red family, but that's definitely one that's gonna be in my consideration.
I got to go out and play golf after we wrapped up the PGA show. Got to go out and play golf with some friends that were in town on Sunday, and put the RB in the bag for the driver, put the RB in the bag for fairway wood, and hitting both of those side by side. I really, really liked it in the fairway wood. Driver,
Not so much in the driver.
Driver, I just had that left miss that came back.
Sure.
And for the fairway wood, really happy with it.
Yeah.
Driver for me, I need to spend some more time with it. I literally put it in the bag and took it to the golf course.
Yeah.
And
I
fairway, loved it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I found with that family, the blue board, red board, the blue board was very high launching for me.
Okay.
Like super high launching. So I haven't hit the red board before. So if the blue board is meant to be the mid and the red's meant to be the high mid, I can only imagine what that's going to do. But sometimes a profile just works better in a fairway than it does in a driver.
Oh, totally. And that's kind of interesting. 6th generation Diamana historically very smooth, even profile, very good match for players that are that feel oriented player. And you get a lot of feedback like, oh, I just feel more connected. I feel where the head is through the swing. I know where the club is, and you feel it load. You feel it through transition, and it absolutely no deviation from that signature profile for sure. I just need to spend some more time with it.
That's fair.
Really liked it in the fairway. I hit probably half a dozen shots or so out on the course with it. Start direction was good. Ball flight was good. Tight little draws. Really happy. Driver.
Not so much.
We had what
head did you have on it?
I was hitting it with the Elite Triple Diamond.
Okay. Got it.
So I was doing some testing with that head as well. And I had hit that head previously in Aratera shaft and did not see that left movement out of it.
Which Aratera shaft?
So the new EC1.
Okay.
And EC1 performed really well. And I have...
Yeah, but you like that soft mid.
yeah, it's...
In your driver, you hit that very well. If you like, I'll give you like inside baseball here, guys. If you see Kris in a driver shaft fitting video, and it's not me, it's because it's a mid flex shaft, and I cannot hit it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair.
And you hit them so bloody good, like so good.
Yeah, the previous round that I played with the EC1 and then the Triple Diamond Elite, or the Elite Triple Diamond, I didn't miss a fairway.
Yeah, it's great.
And it was awesome. And then made a little shaft change. And like we've talked about, shafts are the timing mechanism that control the left or right. Mm-hmm. And did I see that left come back? So that's that needs a little more work, or it's just not going to make the cut for the driver.
Yeah, if I was to rank my favorite Mitsubishi shafts, I like the blue board and the red board. They're great, but to me, I'd probably be putting the Tensai Red and GT at the top. The Diamana and Tensai, the Diamana GT and the Tensai Red. I would be putting them at the top.
I'm going to have to check numbers between that Ventus Blue, the new one, the 24 Ventus Blue, and that EC1. Because I love the feel of both of those shafts.
Well, they've both got a softer midsection, right?
The handle section.
The handle section
in the Ventus Blue. I hit both of them really, really well. So I test so much. It's like once I find something I like, I always go, well, yeah, that was good, but what does this do? What does this do? What does this do?
That's my big issue. I'm such a tinkerer at heart, and I love to tinker. It's not so much because I think it's going to make me better. I just think it's fun to have new shit.
Oh, totally.
And so I'm like this year, because I'm trying to go from a 2-3 handicap down to scratch. I'm really going to try hard to go, here is my bag. So if I'm playing around, take your bag. If I'm going to go do like a muck around to test stuff, then that's fine. But don't like count it. Don't worry about the score.
That's fair.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's just getting to the point now where I have so much at my disposal, which is such a blessing, right? To have that much at your disposal, but it also gets to a point where it's time to just chill out.
And that's the biggest problem with me. I love gear so much, and I have so many friends in the industry, and I love to test. I like diving into the data, and I like seeing, kind of what works, what doesn't, then kind of going down that rabbit hole of why. And if something doesn't work, then it always begs the question, like, was I just having an off day? Was it? So I keep trying to make it work, and then I'm a victim of my own just over analytical self.
Curiosity killed the cat.
That it did, man. And like, I can look at a player and I can go, that doesn't work. Why are you even wasting another swing on it? But then with myself, I sit there and I go, I know how good this product is. It should work. It makes sense on paper. And then I take it out on the golf course and it just doesn't work. And it's so frustrating to me because everything about it should, in theory, work for me. And I just can't make it happen. Just pisses me off.
Right. So this year I'm dedicating, pisses me off too, just so you know. But so this year I'm dedicating a lot of my energy on getting better. And I'm going to, like, we're going to have a series coming out soon about like what should be in my bag.
Yeah.
Right. And versus what's in the bag. It's like what should be in the bag. And we're going to test out all the drivers. We're going to test out all the red shafts. We're going to test out what I should go to next. Obviously I've got mini driver in there now, and then I teeter between UW and driving iron. Like, should it be that? I mean, the Ventus hybrid shaft video. Have we posted that yet, Marky Mark? Did that go live?
Yeah. Ventus hybrid? Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, so we posted it, and it's like at the start of that, I'm like, am I going to become a bloody hybrid guy? Because they've just changed hybrids now to make them easier to hit. They're not going to go left as much. Should a hybrid be in? Like, there's so many questions I have, but I just want to stick to it. I've dedicated. I'm dedicating this year to getting better at putting.
You're talking about that video. That could be the greatest opening line of any video that we've done so far. You go, God damn it, am I going to be a hybrid guy now?
I was really frustrated because I don't want to be a hybrid guy.
It was the most genuine reaction. Very first swing, we had it on camera, luckily, because it was so great. And you couldn't have scripted it any better.
No.
You hit the very first shot, just beautiful high draw, and I mean the immediate react. Damn it! Am I going to be? It was before we took any swings. You're like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Kris should hit this. Like, I'm not really a hybrid guy. I'll take a couple swings, see how it goes, but we might need to. And then you get up and just absolutely rope it. And Spencer and I are just laughing at you. I mean, it was perfect. So if you haven't watched that video yet,
go check it out.
Definitely check out Wade's experience with the Fuji Ventus hybrid shafts, because that was a fun video to film. Spencer was a wealth of knowledge,
100%,
and your experience going through and testing all three of those new profiles that they launched for hybrid was not only entertaining, but also a pretty educational video as well.
It was super interesting, right? Because and I don't want to give it away, but like when you do watch the video, you go through. We went through obviously the red. The red's new for this year for hybrids. They previously never had them, but we went through the red, blue, and the black. And it's funny because like in driver and fairway or mini driver, whatever you want to call it, I adopt to the red. Right. As we start going lower down the bag, I get closer to a black with how my swing changes and what have you. And in that video, we found out that the black shaft was much better for me than red or blue. You gave it away. I gave it away.
You gave it away.
But go watch it anyway because it's an entertaining video. But I'm not going to tell you about the numbers.
Okay.
But the numbers will be there. But you know, so it was just better consistently. Do you know what I mean? Like when I hit the red and I timed it properly, it went further. But it took me 3-4 swings to time it. Where with the black,
game
it was
of
time,
averages.
time. So, but anyway, so dedicating a lot of time to putting. I'm switching to the claw grip. I'm going to give that a go for 3 months and really give it a go. I feel when we were at Carlsbad at TaylorMade, it really kind of fucked me up in regards to that 3D motion capture thing in their putting studio.
Yep.
Because I was 2 degrees open at address and I thought I was square. And it just screwed with my head. And I'm like, is it my grip? Is it this? Is that? Is this? And then what I noticed is when I started going to the claw, when I held left hand low, I can see it open. And then when I go to the claw, it shuts.
Okay.
Which is going to square. So I feel like I'm more square with the claw grip.
You had an interesting like facial awareness aha moment at Titleist as well.
Yeah, with
Lucas.
With Lucas on my driver. So it's so gnarly how things just flip. So I would set up with driver and with irons to a certain degree as well. I would set up closed.
Yeah.
He's like set up so where you think you're square, and I would set up, and he'd be like, and then he'd put the magnet thing on, and I'd be, left of target.
Right.
Like that's wild. And he's like, and then he'll open the face. And I'm like, this looks like I've just taken this
just ready
10-degree
to
driver.
Slice it off the planet.
Yeah, it looks like it's gone from a 10-degree driver to a 15-degree driver. It cannot be straight at target. And then you put the thing on, it's facing target.
Yep.
And that's wild.
I mean, that just kind of reinforces the feel versus real and how everybody's visual perception is so unique to them. Mm-hmm. I see it all the time. And to have somebody kind of turn the light on you.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, shit. Like, yeah, I didn't even realize that was a thing. And then, I mean, the data doesn't lie.
No, but that's what you need to get better as well. Like, that's the other thing I'll say is when I started playing golf in 2013 and as I started getting better, going from like breaking 100 to breaking 90 to getting in the mid-80s, once I broke 80 consistently, which is obviously where I'm at right now at a 2, when I tried to get from 5 to 2, my gosh, that was so hard.
Yeah.
And then finally got it, and now trying to get from a 5 to 2 or 3, sorry. And then now I'm at a 2 or a 3, and I'm really trying to get to a scratch golfer. That's the little things that you've really got to work on.
Yeah, a lot of that's just a short game, the up and down, the making the one putts. That's where you get those last couple of strokes. Mm-hmm. Your swing is solid. You hit it great off the tee. And iron game is pretty solid, mm-hmm. and it's just getting those last couple strokes off the index is short game, short game, short game.
Short game. That's all it is. So I've got the putting green in the backyard. I have a putting mirror that just sits there, and I go outside and just roll putts and try to hit through the gates. And I'm just trying to get that start line going and eliminate that, feel comfortable with start line, then getting better at reading and all of that.
Just that side note rant, we're talking about short game. I do want to mention a long game, a really, really long game, and that was final round at Farmers. Dude,
That was what was it like 6 hours?
It was 5.5 hours.
Yeah, it's so bad.
5.5 hours. Dottie Pepper, announcer, commentator for Golf Channel, even kind of sounded off about it, and she had brought up respect, and like respect for your fellow competitors, respect for the patrons, respect for all of the people working behind the scenes to bring the tour events to life, and like that's crazy to me. Because I mean, we in the amateur world where we pay to play,
Yeah.
I mean, if we take 5.5 hours in a round of golf,
we
like
hear
we
about
have a marshal on us.
Do we bloody hear about it?
They'll relocate us to a different
Even if we
hole.
go 1 minute behind the group in front of us.
Yeah, and they give you one warning. You know, some courses, depending on how strict the marshal is, you might get 2 warnings. But then they're like with you for the hole, seeing why it's taking you so long. And then if you're out of position, they will make you skip a hole or however many it takes to get you back on pace. Like, man, if you're in that environment, I can understand players' perspective. Like, okay, we're playing for millions of dollars. Course conditions are brutal. It was playing really tough. The rough out there. Have you ever played, Tori?
No. I tried to in Carlsbad and you said no.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry about that.
And then you went and did it anyway.
And then but that was after. That was after, Wade. Okay. Just do as I say, not as I do. But the rough out there is no joke.
No, I know.
You can be...
Yeah, but they've also got patrons telling you where the balls are. It's not like you have to sit there 15 minutes trying to find your ball. There are people there putting the white flag or whatever color it is to show you where it is.
The finding, it's not the bad part.
It's getting it out.
Oh, dude. It is. I mean, it's a penalty.
Yeah, but it still shouldn't take you 5.5 hours to play
No,
around.
you wouldn't think so. But I don't even know. Like the PGA Tour is already kind of struggling for retaining viewership and trying to keep the interest level of the golf fan, and then you have a 5.5 hour round. Like
it's weird this is a really good segue into what we saw at the PGA Show, or what I saw at the PGA Show, versus what I'm seeing in the PGA, right? Like they've got a really huge entertainment problem.
Yeah.
On the PGA Tour right now. Really big. And once again, all the big profile guys haven't come and started playing properly yet. You know, they're not in it yet. But they've got an entertainment issue. But when we're at the PGA Show, for me, one of the biggest things I would say is it felt like the golf industry was very healthy. Like it looked very healthy. There was a lot of people at the show. There's a lot of vendors. There's a lot of Me Too vendors. Me Too meaning copycat.
Okay.
You know, I'm not talking about in the gear space in regards to like equipment and what have you, but there are so much more technology companies out there now. There are so much more apparel and customization apparel companies and head cover companies and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like there are so many in that regard. It's like if all of these companies are trying to get into and get a slice of that pie, it's a very healthy industry, which is so odd because the juxtaposition of that health versus what we're seeing on tour isn't there. The tour is the separation that Live and the PGA Tour has created by taking what I would say is a lot of the entertaining players.
Yeah, the personalities
over there, and no one can watch. I mean, I know it's available on Fox going into this season, but that's the miss. The miss is entertainment. It's not slow play. Slow play was bearable when it was entertaining. It was. No, it was. Because if it
to more of a degree, yes.
But if it's English and I don't know, whoever it was coming down the stretch, I don't even know. I didn't watch it. I got sick kids at home, but versus Rory and DeChambeau, you're in. It's Rory and DeChambeau, like you're in. You know, if it's Koepka and Rahm, you're in. You know, like it's very like if it's that high profile player that is super entertaining to watch because you know they're going to have a moment.
Oh, there's always a moment.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Versus just watching vanilla. And it's 4 days of it. That's the other problem. It's 4 days of vanilla. It's not like it's. Do you get what I'm saying? So
totally.
The juxtaposition there is wild. But the PGA Show I thought was incredible in regards to I think the industry looks very, very healthy. There's some really cool stuff coming out. So like customers of the golf industry, I'm a customer of the golf industry. Like we should get really excited for what's coming out.
Yeah, I met so many people, and you and I just kept kind of like
Crossing paths.
passing each other.
Yeah, you were there for this. I was there for the business side of it. So I was, yeah.
Right. There, I had an opportunity to sit down with a few other industry professionals and bank a couple interviews that you'll see coming up, and talk to a bunch of people in the hard goods space. I mean, got to visit a lot of the OEMs that we already saw in Carlsbad and just kind of circle back with them, early trends, what they're seeing as things are kind of getting into the marketplace. And I mean, Ping was dropping the new Scottsdale putter line and the bunker wedge while we were at the show.
Yeah.
Did a quick little social hit on the bunker. That thing's kind of cool. There's definitely a spot for that in the aspiring player that needs a little bit of love with the wedge game.
Yeah.
So that was fun to play with. And then, man, like you said, there were so many just like cool little gadgets and gizmos that make you go, huh, that's kind of a cool idea. I'm kind of surprised here we are in 2025 and that wasn't a thing.
Yep.
The amount of women's specific product, awesome to see. Tons of junior stuff. And then also there's a lot of companies that are coming out that are kind of like, hey, we're not TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, Titleist, but we've got decent stuff. Check it out. And I got to spend some time with Sticks, and they are box sets.
Yep.
They did a collaboration with our sister company with Nicholas, and went over and got to talk to those guys. And first time that I'd hit some of their product, and that was like pleasantly surprising.
The product's really good.
I was blown away.
For what it is, the product is really good.
I mean, for what it is or what it isn't. Like the price point, I'm hitting it, looking at some data coming off of it, and just checking the box on the aesthetics look good, sounded good off the face, felt good off the face. The numbers were pretty solid. And I'm going, like, damn, like, okay, for $1,500 for a full set of clubs,
it's not
like
even 15 though, man. It's like $6.99, $8.99, $9.99, $12.99. Like it doesn't go like, and that's full set of clubs. It's everything's proprietary.
Sure.
Right? So it's their own shaft, it's their own heads, all own grips, all of that kind of stuff. But it's a really good entry if you're trying to get into golf and you don't know what, because there is so many options out there. Going the Sticks route is a really good one.
And they have leather head covers. That was cool.
Yeah.
Like nice touch. The bag looks good. Like they just check the box in so many different categories, and I was blown away by it.
Yeah, I got to spend some time with the guy that started it during the Nicholas launch and what have you. So I was in those meetings and what have you prior to it all coming out to the public. And a big reason why he started the business was because, and his story is really cool. And honestly, we probably should get him on the podcast, and I think he would come on in a heartbeat.
Totally should.
But he's not a golfer. Like he's a golfer, but he's not like a good golfer. And he's
I think he said he was around a 12.
Yeah, and he's like, I started this because I was sick and tired of being, playing once every couple of months and not having a set that I could just go spend $900 on and not care about, chuck it in the back of the car and go. Where it's just minimum $2,000-$3,000 kind of a thing for a full set. And so that's where this was bred from. They're young, they're 3 years old. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes, but I definitely think it's a really good entry full bag set.
That they look really good too. It doesn't look like your big box box set that you're picking up at Dick's Sporting Goods or Walmart or Target.
It doesn't look
like
the Bellata set that you get from Amazon.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were so many technology companies and different entities for measuring, different measuring devices. Recovery was another big section there.
Recovery was a huge section. Definitely something I want to jump into a lot, because I think one of the big things about Fully Equipped, the podcast, and what we do here is I think we need to equip people with the understanding of what recovery does and why recovery is very, very important. But there was a lot of recovery stuff out there. Hyperize has got a really cool collaboration coming out with Nike.
I saw that.
Where it's a shoe, but it's the Hyperize shoe, so you can walk around in it, do whatever you want, but it compresses, it heats, and it's got a vibration function in there as well. And Anthony, who's the COO over at TrueSpec, he broke his ankle, I want to say like 4 or 5 months ago. He was in a boot for a while.
Yep.
And we on the second day we went and said g'day to the guys at Hyperize, and his ankle was killing him. And like, put your foot in here, and afterwards, like, it feels so much better.
Well, that's a good testimonial
Yeah,
right there.
100%. So,
That's
and I had my
another
foot
one,
in
man.
it too. It felt great. But the coolest part is it's a shoe. So you can walk around and do stuff while you're doing it. Like I could be sitting here right now.
Yeah, I really like the compression leg sleeves, but I mean, you're kind of immobile for 30 plus minutes while
Right.
you're going through the cycle. And I mean, there's time and a place for that for sure. But the shoe concept is super cool.
Super cool. And you guys, like, if you didn't notice, they were actually using it at the Olympics in Paris. So LeBron James, all of that, he was using them on the sidelines in Paris.
Did not
They were
notice
all,
that.
I think they were probably blacked out, but yeah, they've been around for a little bit now.
Okay. And it's been a Nike collab from the beginning?
It's always been a Nike collab. Well, I mean, so I think Rory and LeBron are investors in Hyperice. So with
Gotcha.
their connection with Nike, it just makes sense.
And they have the partnership with the PGA Tour too, which it definitely helps get it in players' hands.
Yep.
That's for sure.
But yeah, I think recovery is important. Like I go see a stretch doctor once every couple of weeks to especially with my hips, just to stretch my hips out and open them up and what have you. Like I would love to get him on the podcast so he can like he works with a lot of professional athletes, a lot of NFL players, all of that kind of stuff. Like just so he can kind of go through why this stuff is
If we
important.
get a table in here and just do a YouTube video of getting you all stretched out.
Hey, if you want to pay for one of my stretch sessions, I'm more than happy to do that.
No, we'll expense it. We'll
Is that in the budget, Mark?
Yeah, we'll expense it. We'll make it work. It's all for content.
As long as I get to go too.
We'll bring the table here. We'll get you stretched out too.
I'm down. Let's do it.
But yeah, recovery was a big thing. So the biggest takeaways I took from the show was the recovery side and the technology side. So many more ways to read what's going on with your swing, stroke, ball flight, whatever it is that you want to see.
There's always that there's that morbid curiosity that I have to go down kind of inventor's row and see all of the little gadgets that you never really knew you needed and just still are just kind of scratching your head about.
Yeah.
Did you see the guys walking around in like the frosted donut shirts?
No.
So they have a product.
I'm sure I did. I just wasn't paying attention.
They were hard to miss.
Yeah.
But they have like this telescoping shaft, and on the end of it is a donut, and then just has a regular golf grip on it. But it's so that you can align your ball while you're standing up, and it's obviously the donut hole. So you use the alignment aid on top of your ball, so you're standing up, like looking at your target line. And
Is this on putter?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you can go and align your ball on the putting green without bending over and doing the whole thing. And I'm sitting there going, huh, like that's an interesting thing. And to make it look like a donut was kind of,
Yeah.
kind of funny. But so I'm listening to this guy kind of explain it to me. And like, is there a world that lives in my bag? No. But you start thinking about like juniors, and you start thinking about the senior community that they have the suction cup on the end of their putter to pick the ball up out of the hole after they're done putting. And I'm going, there's an application for this. Like there's a market for almost anything. And the gentleman that was kind of showcasing the product was relatively newer golfer, and larger gentleman had some lower body issues, hips and back, and it hurt him to bend down and get down on the green and line up his ball. But he was a very visually oriented person and liked using the alignment aid on top of the ball. So he came up with this. And I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. And then he whips out a putter. And the putter has the same technology, this hole that's rounded on the sides that fits over the top of a golf ball and allows you to line your ball up to your intended target with your putter. So if you don't want the donut, they have a putter that has the same tech in it.
Interesting.
I was like, huh, like that's kind of cool. But there were just so many little gadgets that you just kind of go, oh, that's kind of a fun idea. Like I like that.
Yeah.
And then there's some of them where you go, damn it, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah. There's a lot of those.
A lot of those. So many of those.
But speaking of gear as well, Wilson, Dynapower. Dynapower?
Dynapower.
Dynapower.
Dynapower. Embargoes today. So they will be officially available by the time the podcast comes out. And when we get done here, heading over to the Scottsdale studio to film some content with one of our True Spec fitters, testing all the Dynapower product. And it's another future video that's going to be dropping on our channel here and on the True Spec channels. But man, we had these guys out for player testing and part of club test. And it was one of the most like surprising reactions that we kept getting out of people. Because we would do just kind of like blind tests, put something together, here, hit this. What is it? Hit it first, then we'll talk about it. And people would hit this new Dynapower product and go, wow, love it. This is great. This is hot. Love the sound. Great shape. Great look. Checking boxes for people. And then they flip the club over and see that it's a Wilson. And it's just like, wow. And how many people said that? And when I hit it the first time, I kind of had the same reaction. Like, I was pleasantly surprised how responsive it was, and the sound, the feel. I mean, Wilson's come a long way with their product, and I know they've been pushing. They had the show.
Yeah, that did not do well for them.
That did not do well, but at least they're innovating. Right?
No,
they're
that's
trying
true.
new concepts.
But here's the deal, and this is what I don't think a lot of people realize this about Wilson. Every sport they're in, they're the number one,
right?
Except for golf.
Except for golf.
And they used to be number one in golf.
Used to be.
And I want that to sink in. Every sport that they're in, they are number one when it comes to gear.
That says something.
Basketball, tennis, like they are the basketball of the NBA. They are the preferred tennis racket by pretty much every top pro out there. You can go down that list. It's just golf. So they've got the engineering, they've got the marketing, they've got the ability to do it. The Dyna Power is incredible in regards to looks. I've never hit it. When I say incredible, when they showed it to me, I was like, this looks different. This looks like you've turned around and just threw away everything and was like, let's make a driver.
Exactly.
Don't worry about what Dyna Power did last year. Let's throw it all away and let's turn around and go, okay, this is what we want our driver to be.
I kind of wish, listening to your feedback, I felt the exact same way when I saw it the first time. I was like, wow, like that's a Wilson club? Mm-hmm. I wish they would have renamed it.
So I actually, when they brought it to me, I was like, are you going to keep it Dyna Power? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, you need to change it to Pro Staff, which is what they've been like. When you think about tennis, when you think about golf in the past, all of that, anything that's high level, it's Wilson Pro Staff.
Pro Staff, yeah.
And it should be a PS. It should be a Pro Staff. That in my head, and we'll see what happens over the years. But Dyna Power, cool. But like the Pro Staff name to me just sounds so much better.
I totally agree.
What are you hitting the Pro Staff?
Pro Staff. And the irons are awesome.
Versus the Dyna Power. And I'm not being an asshole when I say this, but I always get confused with the Dyna Power and the company in the cartoon cars.
Dynaco?
Dynaco.
There we go. There we go. I'm playing the Dynaco. No big deal. No big deal. No, it's definitely something that should get people's attention.
It should. They should hit it. They should go and hit it. Like if you're going to go get fit, and Wilson is part of the matrix, so it is at true spec, but you should hit it because it everything I've heard. And we were having this conversation before we started recording. Like I was like, we've got that, like when we talk about this or that,
yeah.
Right? Would you, if all numbers were the same, would the Wilson deter you because it's a Wilson?
Me personally, no.
Yeah, that is a testament to the engineering and look and visual of what they've brought out this year.
And that's a message that we try and communicate to the people that listen to the podcast and watch our videos and things like that. Everybody makes good stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's so much time and energy and effort and resources put into the development of these products. Like everything is going to work for somebody. And if I get up and I test a product, I don't care who makes it. I don't care what color it is. If it checks the boxes on my side as a player and then it's validated by the data and I'm seeing the results on the golf course, I'm putting it in the bag for sure.
It shouldn't matter what brand it is.
No, definitely.
It really shouldn't.
If you're not getting a check to play something, like you should have a Franken bag of stuff that works.
Yep.
So to be a loyalist to one brand when there's something else out there that performs better and actually rewards you as a player, like that's what should be in the bag, not because it says a company's name on the side of it.
Yep.
Like,
yeah. So and to be honest with you, just so you guys know, before the show started recording, we were having this conversation. I was going through like, okay, if the numbers were the same, would you play a TaylorMade or would you play the Wilson? And he was saying he would play the Wilson with looks and visual. Like it wouldn't matter, is what you were saying.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I was calling bullshit on it, but he kept going with it, so I kind of believe him. But like it is a good looking driver.
Yeah, like I said, if it checks all the boxes.
If you Pepsi Coke challenged me with it and covered up the logoing at address, I wouldn't know what it is. And then I've not hit it yet, but if the numbers are there, yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, being in the industry And like we were talking about, the amount of friends and relationships and things like that we have in the industry, and the revolving door that is our golf bags currently. Like, will it find a spot in the bag at some point? Like, after this test today, when I go up and film with Sammy, I'm absolutely going to hang back and do a little comparison and see what the numbers look like next to the Gamer or 4 that I currently rotate through the golf bag.
Or
see where
4.
it stacks up. Yeah. And 4 is probably
Yeah,
conservative.
I've got my bag in the car. I've got 5 drivers in it.
Exactly. And the Carlsbad trip, I told you before we went,
Fucks me.
it just totally blows you away, because all the fitters at the OEMs that work with the tour players and that represent the companies at the HQ facilities are good, and they know the product inside and out, and the fitting experiences are really solid. And then you walk away from that trip scratching your head and going, man, like, I could play any of these. I could play all of these, but you don't have an opportunity to put them head to head until we get back here.
Right. Which is what we're going to do soon, hopefully.
Yeah. And that's the future video. It's like, okay, so we have the best of the best from these OEM partnerships that we have and the trip that we took. And now it's like, okay, so we have best options available. We're going to test these head to head and see what actually should be in the bag for 25.
Yeah, the only thing I'm not changing is my Vokey wedges.
The Lucas got you dialed in. That was awesome.
I'm not changing my Vokey wedges. It's going to be really hard to even try to get those out of the bag. That was a really great experience. And my short game has increased so dramatically since doing that.
There you go. Quest for 0.
So
and wedges are there to help.
Wedges are there to help. So, but in that, let's wrap it up. We've been talking for a minute now, so sorry if we started boring you guys, but, that's what we do. We talk.
Yep.
But
That's
Kris,
what we do.
Our socials, what are they?
Hey, I got my cheat sheet.
I know. Use your
on
cheat
X,
sheet.
at fully_equipped. On Instagram, at fully_equipped_golf.
I don't know why. It still sounds stupid when people call it X. I know it's now X, not Twitter, but every time someone says it, it just sounds odd to me.
Just not there yet.
Nah, just doesn't sound right. I still call it Twitter. And then, guys, if you want some of that hotline bling and you want to give us a call, 480-442-1168. That's 480-442-1168.
I mean, with all the stuff dropping and coming off of embargo, and now people have an opportunity to go and hit the stuff we've been talking about for the last several weeks, couple months now at this point, I feel like. Let's get some feedback.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear what people are seeing when they're doing their testing, some success stories, some absolute dumpster fires. You were excited about a product, you tested it, and it just didn't go well. Like, I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Give us a call. Leave us a message.
Maybe we'll pick one of you lucky callers to come get fit by Kris in Arizona.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. It'd be a good time.
So leave a message on the hotline bling, 480-442-1168, and we'll see what happens.
Maybe Wade will take you shoe shopping.
That, or just for a good bloody time.
It'd be a good time. All right, with that, I'd say let's wrap this guy up. And thanks as always for listening. We'll see you next time.
Peace.